They were just talking about when you got drafted in the 14th round in
Really?
1983, and we're talking about Mel Kiper if he had a scouting report on you.
No, he probably didn't.
Probably didn't.
I would imagine no, he did not. Where were you? Were you fourth rounder, Stoke?
Yes.
Wow, what a mistake.
Should have
They
gone
should-
That
higher.
was a steal.
Should have gone higher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he should have been like a second rounder. or
I
something.
agree. We were just talking about the butterfly effect. If I would have never signed with Indy in free agency, we would have never heard of Peyton Manning. So this is we've had a lot of
Right.
fun here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Great
fun.
call.
Hey, I'd like to actually right away, because both Stoke and I saw this happening, and we were like, oh, we got to ask Mark what was said, because we have you up on the TV
Yeah.
to critique, what you're wearing, and if you
Sure.
got a chef hat on or whatever
Yeah.
prop du jour that your crack producers come up with. But you guys had Ben Johnson on.
Yes, we did.
Who just took over as the head coach of the Chicago Bears, and I know that you've done a lot of Detroit games over the years, so you got a chance to know him. But you guys asked him an interesting question, and we'd love to hear what his answer was. The question being, why do so many coaches around the NFL struggle with in-game management? What was his answer?
His answer was that, like, you always have an idea and you always talk about it pregame and you have a team built around it, and it is always one of those things where you have the answers kind of pregame. If you ask any question, this is what I would do, this is what I would do. But then human error comes in, gut feel comes in. Are we blocking this the right way? Sometimes you get into a situation where you're like, everybody's like, you got to go for it here. Like, you got to have this. And you're like, well, we haven't been able to block their defensive front the whole time, so we're going to kick a field goal, right? Like, so things come into that human nature aspect of it. One of the things I always tell people are like, oh, you got to have, you should go for it on 2-point conversions and everything. And I tell people, any game plan that we come into, we have probably one 2-point conversion play that we love, one that we kind of like, and we don't practice them except on Fridays in a walkthrough with no helmets and shoulder pads. So, like, it's not necessarily your best or most coached up play. So there are things that come in, factors that come in game day that you don't normally, you've got to consider all the other factors, and that's why the game management stuff slows down, or why it seems to be, a lot of mistakes getting made.
Yeah, and I think overall, and I like that answer from Ben Johnson there, Mark. I think overall, to Mark's point, is, look, each game is a little bit different. The numbers can't tell you how the game's going to unfold. They can't tell you how good that front is for Kansas City and how they're getting after your offensive line. Oh, all of a sudden you got 2 injuries on offensive line. Is your analytics people upstairs, are they punching that into the computer? Does the computer know that? So you have to have a feel as a coach. You can't just say, all right, what should we do here, and just do it. You have to be flexible in situations to be able to make your own decision. You want to get the information as much as possible, but still, it's not telling you the whole story.
I think analytics is the number one reason that has screwed with a lot of coaches in in-game management.
They do football via math.
I think the analytic geeks upstairs are somebody's in their ear, and I think it is screwing up some of the in-game management.
That's not how you do football.
I have no doubt.
Well, I don't want to say. I think there's a place for it. I think there is. And I think, but you also, as a coach, you got to be able to have a good feel on how the game is going. But I think overall, when you look at what it's done to the game, the most, I think it's made coaches more aggressive. And it's given them a pass when they screw up. I mean, you look at Brandon Staley with the Chiefs. I mean, it's just craziness, right? But that's what analytics was telling them to do. But your offense wasn't good enough to do it. So you should have known that, hey, maybe being this aggressive with my football team is not the best thing to do. So, but overall, I think there's a place for analytics in football.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any question that there's a place for it, but you've got to also use, your gut and your football acumen, your football knowledge of when to say to the analytics guy upstairs that says, hey, we got to go for it here, and you say, hey, pound sand, I'm not doing it. Like, you've got to have that feel. And I agree with Mike in that sometimes when you're not 100% sure, where in the past you would have probably erred on the side of protecting yourself or whatever. Sometimes the analytics stuff doesn't take into account for some of the things that are going on in that particular game. And so it's always one of those things where I think you have to have a great feel for the game. And I think the other thing is when you're a play caller and you're the head coach, sometimes you're so in-depth in what you're going to do play calling-wise your next series that you miss a little bit of what's going on in the game too. So I think all those things kind of come into play.
We were talking about Mel Kiper dropping his first mock draft of many. He'll probably do about, 5, 6, 7 by the time we actually get to draft night. But his first mock draft, he has Travis Hunter going number 2 in the draft.
Who's the best player in this draft? It's Travis Hunter from Colorado. Be it wide receiver, corner, Cleveland needs a dynamic presence at that wide receiver spot. Sprinkle him in at corner. They go Travis Hunter, best player in the draft, over the quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders would drop down to that 3rd spot.
Yeah, he had Cam Ward going number 1 overall to Tennessee, although Tennessee came out yesterday and said they'd most definitely be open to trading back from the number 1 spot. But as it stands right now, Tennessee has the pick. He has Cam Ward going to Tennessee. He's got Travis Hunter going number 2 to Cleveland, and he's got Shedeur Sanders going to the New York Football Giants.
And I think when you look at number 3 and you're the New York Giants, people say, hey, Brian Daboll likes mobile quarterbacks. Well, hey, in Baltimore, they had Joe Flacco and then went to Lamar Jackson. Won with them both. Why not Shedeur Sanders? He's surgical in the way he goes about his business. He completes a high percentage of his passes. He's a guy certainly super tough in that pocket, great instincts and awareness as well. To me, Shedeur Sanders, with the ability he has at magic when he throws that football, it would make sense with the New York Giants. They're my 4th and 5th highest rated players on the board. Take them in at 1 and take them in at 3, to me, would be okay.
Wow, Shedeur in New York with the Giants.
The Big Apple.
That'd be a show. That'd be a show to watch, huh? That would be a show.
Would Dion go up there?
No. Dion's staying here, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless
Just checking.
Unless you've heard something. You know how much
I haven't.
You know how much I trust your reporting.
Yeah, my
know how much I
sources
trust
Hey, whoa. Like Zach slow down over there. Slow down.
Wow.
See? Stink. I was telling Stoke, these are the reasons why you and I have him on probation right now. It was a very smooth entrance to the Wolfpack, but the last couple days he's given us some reason to wonder just how committed is he, or has he been sent here, Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels style, to ruin the Broncos? Has he been sent here by Dover and Zach to mess with us?
Absolutely.
So we're a little.
Have you noticed at any time him filming you or filming you, like secretly filming, like the way you host the show? Have you noticed anything going on that way?
By the way,
oh my gosh!
Yeah,
wait, look at this! Look at this!
Whoa!
Filming him.
He was just right in my face there. Actually, you can't make this up. So, the Las Vegas Raiders, who are pretty much being run by Tom Brady now, behind the scenes, right? Brady being a part owner here. So
My buddy.
You're a buddy. He loves you.
They had Stokley.
So they hired a new general manager in Vegas. You know what his name is? This is perfect.
It is. I do know his name. Do you want to tell?
Yeah.
You go ahead, tell.
John Spytek. Spytek.
Wow.
Tom Brady, basically pulling the strings in Vegas, hired as his new general manager a guy by the name of John Spytek. Yes, S-P-Y-T-E-K, Spytek. He and Brady were teammates at Michigan. Then they were together in Tampa, where Spytek was the assistant GM, and now they joined forces again in Vegas. John Spytek. You can't make this stuff up.
No, you just
this
can't.
is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
yeah.
back to Mel's draft. At number 20, your Denver Broncos. He's got Ashton Genty available.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, Cecil loves that. Guys, if Ashton Genty is on the board when the Broncos are picking at number 20, should they run, not walk, up to the podium to draft this guy? Stink?
Yeah, that guy's a workhorse. He's an absolute beast. At 20, yes, absolutely. I mean, they need a bell cow running back, a guy that can catch the ball, do all those things, run the ball consistently, a guy that has a great feel for running the football. Yeah, I wouldn't have any issue with that at all.
I've been pounding the table for a running back here, all season long. And if this guy just falls to you at 20, you're talking about probably a top 5, top 10 talent in Genty, and the running back position gets pushed down a little bit more. Quarterback position gets pushed up a little bit more. Absolutely. There's a huge need here for a guy, right, for a dude that, can make plays out of the backfield for you. This guy's good in the passing game also. Bo Nix needs help. If the best running back is there, I don't think you can pass that guy up. I think you have to take him.
Now, this is at number 20. At number 14, he has Warren, the tight end. Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State, going to the Colts at number 14. He has another tight end going right behind where the Broncos would pick, as he's got Colston Loveland, a tight end from Michigan, going number 22 to the Chargers. So, guys, if a top-rated tight end is on the board along with Ashton Genty, do you still want them to take Genty?
I think it would depend on who you have higher, like a higher value on, like who you think is a better overall player. If Genty is rated way higher than the tight end you have, that's the next, best available tight end. I think you take the best player available. And both positions are of need. But if you get a guy that you think is a total difference maker, control the middle of the field at the tight end position, I think you'd have to go in that direction.
I mean, Mark, with breaking news there, you go with the higher guy, right? I mean, thanks a lot, Mark. Goodness gracious. We didn't already know how we're going to go. If you got one guy ranked a lot higher than the other guy, go with the guy that's ranked a lot higher. Okay, we got that. Mark, what if they're the same, buddy? If they're the same, okay.
That's obvious.
If they're the same, then yes. I would take the tight end.
Okay,
Stokely.
Thank you.
If they're the same, I would take the tight end because I think the tight end. Well, I know the tight end's a much tougher position to play than running back.
Okay,
and I mean. By a long shot. That was a long shot.
You nailed it. See how easy that is? I would go running back. Give me the dang running back. Give me Genty. We need a running back. Yeah, obviously we need a tight end, but I think for this year, for me, running back is the most important position.
Well, let me add a little bit more intrigue to this debate because according to Mel's mock draft, Broncos picking at 20, but between 18 and 26, he's got 3 tackles going off the board. Now, Mark, all things being equal, grades, all that kind of thing, you've got a running back, you got Ashton Genty, you got Tyler Warren, and you've got an offensive tackle, all available to you at number 20. What would you hope the Broncos would do?
Tyler Warren.
Okay, so you still stay with the tight end. Okay.
I'd still go tight end. I mean, they paid McGlinchey. Didn't they just re-sign Bolsey too? Did they give Bolsey a new contract?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Tyler Warren's not available.
He's
not available. He already got picked. Were you not listening to Mike earlier?
Well, no, I said if Warren was still available.
Oh, you said if he's available.
If he's available.
Okay.
Or if there's a tight end, if it's Loveland guy.
He said it. If Warren, speaking of not listening, he said if Warren, he's been gotten to, Mike.
I don't like this.
He's been gotten.
I know. We need to stop the bickering here. This is only lending more division, which I think is what Zach By wanted all along. So
yeah, that's how he's going to try to win the trivia. He's going to get division between the Wolfpack.
Yep.
And then he's going to try to. They think that might get him a championship, at least one win in the trivia contest.
We have it. The next trivia round starting at 9:30. We're going to be
today.
We're going to be answering.
They still want to do it.
They still want to do it, even though they cry and whine every single week. They still want to. They still want to do it. But guys, buckle up. We are going to have more curveball questions today.
Yeah.
They're going to sound like SAT questions. I'm telling you. So be prepared because they're mad and they're hurt and they're embarrassed. So you watch. The questions today are going to be easily not only the toughest that we've faced, but just like by design, curveball sounding
Very
type
confusing.
questions.
Mark,
Very
Mark,
confusing.
that was
Yeah.
on me. That was, I pat the chest on that was on me. So
Yeah,
I
it's okay.
apologize
It's
for
all
that.
No, it's okay.
I look at the line. I think they've done pretty well with the line, with the depth there. Obviously, you got some guys that are signed for the future. Palczewski, you mentioned him earlier in the show, Mike. I thought he did a good job coming in, filling in for McGlinchey when he was hurt. So I think you want to continue to develop him. So I'd lean more towards tight end, running back over one of those offensive line in the first round.
Yeah, I'm with you. Again, all things being equal, I'd take tight end. Running backs, it's been proven over the course of time that you can find great running backs later on in rounds.
Oh, you can do
We've
the same
seen
with
the
tight ends, though.
Broncos-
Yeah, I mean,
You can do the same with tight
Kelsey,
ends.
Kittle. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the problem, though, Mark, and I'm with you on that. But the problem is we've drafted running backs all over the place. We've drafted them in the 6th round. We've drafted them in the 2nd round. And none of them have worked out. You got to still find the guy, and we haven't been able to find him. So get me
Yeah, we
close to the
also-
dartboard, as close as possible.
Yeah.
That's the first round, and the hit rate's a lot higher. So that's why I would say let's just go get a guy.
I wouldn't be angry about that. I'd respect that completely. We also drafted 20th overall. We drafted Noah Fant, I believe, one year. How's that working out for us?
Yeah.
Coming up,
We had to, Zach. Speaking of Zach, Zach and I had the Noah Fant show for a couple
you
years.
did.
That was a hit.
I
Crushed it.
I always
Was it a big hit?
I'm
ratings through the
I'm
roof,
telling
Mark.
you.
I mean, it was
I thought you
unbelievable.
guys. I actually have to give you a lot of credit. I thought for a guy who really wasn't very good, you did a great job with him every week.
He gave us some good stuff.
I know
he
he
gave us
did.
some good
I
stuff about
know.
the Halloween party.
Yeah.
We ended up getting some good stuff for Noah.
Yeah.
Nice guy. He did a
Nice
good job.
guy.
And he's still doing
He's
well.
still banging around,
Yeah,
yep.
Seattle.
Yep. Coming up next, I thought what I heard and have seen from Aaron Gordon of late is something that just needs to be celebrated and stands out. But typical Brandon Stokley isn't all that impressed, and he'll tell you why next.
After making the postseason as a rookie, has Bo Nix opened a title contender window for the Denver Broncos?
I think by the time he's done with his 4th year,